This is going to be a quick review of the Ulefone Paris. If I just put my hand over here, you can see that it's got its desktop saver thing with a funny screen thing at the top. I've had the phone here for about a week. I picked it up for a friend who was away over Christmas and have been using it for about a week then. I haven't unfortunately received my 4G SIM card from EE as yet, so I haven't been able to test that out. However, there are some things that are worth saying. So first off, is straight out the box, the software that it came with, the original ROM that it ships with, did have a couple of glitches. One of which is when you do a Google search and you would enter in numeric data. So if I entered in 2, it would receive that. But as soon as I'd hit the next number, it would flip back to a kind of blank search result. So that would be very difficult to kind of do any number searches, like looking for a street number, just typing in anything like that. So the first thing to do kind of out the box, I'd recommend of any user, is to use the provided update app that they ship with it, which is this wireless update app. Yeah, and check for updates. It pretty much said that to me initially, and I didn't do it. And consequently was living with a couple of those glitches. The only glitch that seems to be residual from that is once you've had a few things open, if you're trying to receive, like it's trying to cache images. So if I do an image result here, Great Wall of China.
Here is some information about Great Wall of China.
And if I do some images, it's all coming up fine. Let me just swap to something else then and see if I can recreate it. It might not be able to recreate the cache, create the issue here, but I shall see if I can recreate it. It's usually by having lots of browsers open. So say, what was the other one I was doing? Yes, if I was on Twitter and looking up image hashtags on that, I was finding that earlier today. Haven't had any problems in terms of installing loads of apps and any limits there. So in terms of that functionality, it's been really good. Come on, Twitter, going a bit blind there. So if I put in a and you can see all these images are all caching absolutely fine now. So after a while, there's something up with the cache where images stop doing, and the simple fix is as soon as I hit remove all, you hold the home button and close down all the background apps, remove all. Then there was enough cache again to be doing. So there's something about image caching that's a residual kind of annoyance. Beyond that, as you might have heard there from the clip, the audio is about the only kind of inherent component that, as a user, it's really noticeable that you've got not a great component. If I just go to my channel and play a piece of music from mine, we shall hear a speaker. I just don't want to get into any nonsense copyright things. Probably never happen, but I'd rather not. So I shall just play one of my YouTube videos with some music on it from my YouTube channel, music channel, and you'll hear the speaker quality. It's up full. Loudness isn't really an issue. It's pretty usable volumes.
Hi there, my name is Gavin Taylor.
But the quality of the audio is generally not that great. Oh, lots of emails coming in at the sound. Oh, all sorts of beats going on here.
Let's make this one last goodbye. Find me in no churches, baby.
And it's just a bit, I'm not sure if it comes through particularly well there, but it's just a little kind of distorted and dirty. So when you hear top-endy things, you hear that sort of rough, distorted sound, because it's not, it's not a great little speaker. You can watch content with it without a problem. It's just that's the one component that you immediately kind of as a user notice that, oh well, the audio is a bit distorted and not that great. The GPS has been doing fine. I did a run around with that. So battery life would be the main kind of other shortcoming of the device. It's only got like a 220 milliamp battery, something in that region. So you don't get a great day's usage out of it. But for the money, I think my friend picked this up on for £78, and you can still get that deal online and hope that it gets to the UK without import duties or any issues. I don't think you're supposed to on items under £150, but apparently that's an issue. You do have to wait. Other than that, I've been absolutely happy with it. Compared to my other China phone kind of experiences, I've had another Ulefone, an Ulefone U7, two of those, one the U69 and one the U7, one a non-branded version and one a branded version, and they both have glitches that appeared only 6 months in. The screen stops being responsive and you have to switch it on and off and an amount of times for it to do it. So hopefully Ulefone have got past any glitches on that, and I say that because it happened twice. If it just happened on one of the devices, I would have just put it down to a given device, but my second, because I liked it, it was a big 7-inch phablet, and after about 6 months of using, the screen just stopped responding and you have to hit a sort of power on, power off a few times for it to come back to life. So hopefully the life cycle of this ROM won't have any weird glitches that come up that way. Only other sort of things that you get on it that you have to be kind of first things that are a bit funny. Sometimes when I've uploaded my and you get these immediate to view it, and when it just came up with the mobile number, not from the sort of everything. I haven't been able to technology, and it here and I see the light here, and so there's a lot of condensation. Oh, we are definitely live. I can see the thing. Everything's taking a bit long. Okay, sorry about that. I am trying to do live streaming as I don't have to do any editing afterwards, but that does mean you, the viewer, gets potentially a full unedited experience, but with glitches. Woohoo! Hail to the glitch. So I'm not sure exactly where that cut off, but I think I was just round about the point of saying I haven't really found any major reasons not to use this as a daily device. That's to say, as a user, I have other devices that I use for all sorts of other things, but as a phone device that I can do all the functionality and load up loads of apps on and do everything I need to when I need it, it has been fine. But it's only been 3G so far. Everything has been fine. Search for YouTube videos on leapfrogs. YouTube videos on leapfrog. Things are quite responsive. And in the usual Android experience, I haven't found any major grumbles for a device that you can get new for under £100. Really not a problem at all. And relative to the second-hand market, the other Ulefone, the Ulefone B Touch 2, which is a similar product, I think initially a little higher spec than this, is going second-hand and still getting in the 80s. So it's a ridiculously good value kind of phone in the market right now. As I say, I mean, I've loaded up with all the kind of apps that I need to, and I haven't met any sort of shelves, other than I say sometimes the caching, you have to just hit remove all and stop the background apps running. There's some UI things that I think could have been tinkered with better. That there's this camera on when you shut this, that you can't change that in the UI. There's no like space to go and edit what that camera does or what that space does. It's one thing. You hold it down there. It does work as an MP3 player. You turn your hand around there a couple of times. I don't know, there it is. And it turns into a little MP3 interface. But it's I would never use it. But I don't mind this. The screen's slightly more susceptible to problems with not having a full screen cover there, because you close it and you have the mindset that the thing's fully protected. But obviously there's that bit of screen that is not. I haven't looked into proximity and other sensor calibration yet. Everything's been pretty good, but I have noticed on the occasional call the screen flashing on. So calibrating the proximity sensor there would be good. There's one or two gimmicky things that it said, like on the for using the proximity sensor, and this is probably about the same reason for doing the calibration. There's an image app on it that says you can put your thumb over here and it will take an image just by covering the proximity sensor. I haven't found that to work, but that's kind of a gimmick, and based on that, when I made phone calls, I've noticed the screen coming on a little bit. I think this proximity sensor needs calibration, and you can get apps, I believe, to do that as well, but I'm not sure entirely about that. I'm not that queued up about it. But just as a kind of 1 week user review of the Ulefone Paris, for the value of it, I've been fine. The images that I've taken on it, I've been happy with as a budget device. It's better than my other Ulefone devices that I've had, or other China devices. The only kind of immediate deficits that it has is obviously battery life. You need to, be aware that that's not the greatest, and that the speaker is not great. Then there's just a series of small UI glitches. Like I say, the caching of images once it's been running for a while. And this, so the first thing that you definitely want to do is install the upgrade. So I mean, it did tell me as soon as I got it so I'm hitting the wrong button. There we go. To use this wireless update app, and there was an update ready for there, and it all went smoothly. So I think for that budget to be able to get a usable daily driver phone in the very budget range, you can pick it up £100 in the UK and get it in a couple of days. I think that's pretty good. Or you can save a few quid and try and import it from elsewhere, from China. But it's going to take a long time to get here, and there may or may not be customs issues. As I say, I don't think they're supposed to be on items under £150, but I've been stung on importing things of around about £100 before, so I'm not sure what to believe on those things. So you might get lucky. Cyrus, I did. And in this case, some of the retailers online will charge £6 for. They'll save extras for this, that, and the other. So it'll be a slightly cheaper price for the phone, but you won't get the case and other things. So it might be that you just get lucky one way or the other about importing it from China, and it's just all got all the gubbins in because it's coming from a more direct source from the producer, or from the the distributor over in China. Anyway, I shall leave it there. So that's been my quick sort of 1 week update of using the Ulefone Paris. I've been pretty pleased with it, and I will be trying to get one for myself, I think, because barring 4G reception issues, which unfortunately I haven't been able to get yet because EE have been very slow in getting me my new SIM, all the basic functionality has been up to spec for me. Okay, so I shall leave it there. Thanks now. Bye-bye.